So you're building an n8n and you don't even know what an integration is? How is that even possible? Integrations are nodes. I mean, you'll understand that soon enough, but basically, we're going to be learning about that. But yeah, just for context, the name's Muzi. I am the Grand Alchemist of the Guild. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you know, you can always find out. My goal is to help 8,000 people make their first 1,000 online with AI and automation. And these lessons that I've been releasing are a part of that. By the end of this lesson, I want you to be able to build systems that connect and scale. Like you want to connect to really good services and you want to scale whatever you're doing. Like you don't want to just build things that only work at a certain level for certain things. Like you want to be able to scale whatever tool you're building. So let me stop yapping and let's just start talking about integrations, what they are. So integrations are really interesting, but they are the foundation of automations. Basically, you can't do anything in an automation. Like you can't do anything useful without using an integration. I mean, think about it. All your data is stored in some place. When you want to represent data, you're probably going to use it with some tool. When you want to send people a document, you're probably going to use some tool. If you want to send people a contract that they have to sign, you have to send it with some tool. Um, if you want to do that through automations, then you have to integrate with those tools. And the way to integrate is through nodes. So integrations are nodes, right? n8n integrates apps and services like Notion, Slack, OpenAI, Google Sheets. There's a ton more. I think right now the count is somewhere in the it's in the high 300s or early 400s. Not entirely sure, but it's quite a lot. But if there's one thing that n8n lacks that the others have, it's the fact that the other ones have thousands of integrations. So like Make has like integrations in the thousands, and Zapier has like integrations probably in the 3,000 as well, which is like a lot of integrations. But that's just because of the, I guess you could say, the backing that they have. I mean, with the backing that they have, they're able to sort of broker deals with all of these apps and services, and that's how they're able to get integrations in them. But n8n is open source, so it doesn't have that much backing, but it does have a skilled team of developers who work behind the scenes and make everything um, make sense for people like you and me who want to build really cool stuff. So yeah, building complex integrations means building complex workflows with multiple nodes or multiple integrations basically. Think about if you want to take data from a Google Sheet, you want to do some operations on that data. Generate a document or a PDF that has insights from that data and then send it somewhere. How many integrations would that take? So that you'd integrate with Google Sheets, you would integrate with maybe some kind of data analysis platform. You'll integrate with OpenAI to take that data and then take the best insights from it. And then you'd integrate maybe with Google Docs for generating the document. And then you'll integrate with maybe some other sort of like email sending platform to send that email. So like Gmail, or it could be anything else. So yeah, the more complex it is, the more integrations you have. Um, and yeah, the complex integrations are basically complex workflows are workflows that have a ton of integrations, so a ton of nodes. Now there's something called built-in nodes. Like let's talk about that. So built-in nodes are pre-installed nodes like Gmail, Airtable, Trello, and Google Drive. These are the nodes that n8n releases itself. So they're beginner friendly, they're stable, tons of documentation, they're easy to use, and they're low code or no code, meaning, I mean, you can't really say they no code because they use expressions. So something we've learned already in the previous module, module 2, was the fact that there's something called data mapping. So that's how you pass data between nodes. So because nodes, they get data as input, they do transformations on that data, and then they send the data out as output. If you want to map the output of one node to another, that's called data mapping, and you do that through expressions, so JavaScript expressions. So you kind of have to understand code to an extent if you want to do transformations of the data, so like data processing, data transformations, and so on and so forth. You have to understand code to even a small extent. I mean, either you to understand code or you just understand how to prompt an LLM to debug your code for you. So yeah, those are built-in nodes, and they're the nodes that you're going to be seeing most often. Now, the next node types are the community nodes. These are the nodes managed by the community, so they have special use cases and abilities. And the nice thing is they're also beginner friendly. They're stable because of the documentation they have on npm. They're easy to use. They're low code and no code. So like basically any integration, you can use it as long as you like. There's tons of documentation on it. It's very easy, and I'll show you very soon. So the last one we're going to be looking at is generic integrations. So generic integrations, you can connect anything, and even you can connect with like unsupported tools. They give you like infinite flexibility. You build your own integrations, and you stop waiting for tools, and you start actually creating systems. So that's really powerful when you think about it. Think about maybe connecting with something that doesn't have an integration, so a natively built integration. You'd probably be using like a bunch of other nodes to sort of replace it, but you could wrap that whole thing, that whole service, in your own, like as your own system, which is like really powerful. And then finally we have custom operations. So these are nodes that require credentials for you to use them, right? Credential only nodes, right? You have to provide some kind of token, some kind of password, right? For Google, it's a client ID and secret. For Airtable, it's um, a token, right? For there's all different types, right, of ways to authenticate. But yeah, um, if you're a developer, you get full control. You can use any API feature, and you can unlock powerful, rare use cases like video generation and image generation and so on and so forth. Again, we'll cover all of those. Actually, let's just look at some of these. I'll come in here and just open up one of these workflows. This is, by the way, the n8n interface. If you want to know more, I already did a video on this on the n8n interface, so like just check that out. But let's look at this. So we already understand the anatomy of an n8n workflow. Workflows are based on triggers, steps, loops, so recurrences, outputs, and um, this is how it looks, right? You have the trigger here, you have every step, and whatever comes out here is the output. So that's basically the final result. What you might notice here is this is a Google Sheets trigger. So and what it's saying here is that it's getting any whenever there's a row added, it's going to trigger this, depending on the polling time, and the polling time is every minute. So this is going to be checking this Google Sheet every minute, and if there's ever a row added in that Google Sheet, then it's going to update with that information. So this is a type of, can you guess it? That's right, it's a type of custom integration because of the Google Sheets trigger. Um, be, no, it's not. It's not actually. It's a built-in node for the Google Sheets, but it's a built-in node for Google Sheets, and you have to access it with a credential. This is a built-in node that doesn't have a credential necessary, so you can just use it. It's like a functional node. And again, we'll go through what all of this means later on. This is another one we spoke about. It's the Gmail node, and you need a Gmail account credential to use this. And then again, another Google Sheet, and you need a Google Sheets credential to use this. To add nodes, of course, you go over here, and this is where you can find integrations. You can search. So if you say hypothetically you want Trello, that's it. If you want Asana, that's it. There's tons of integrations for you to use, and you click tab when you want to make that disappear. So there's one thing that you might be wondering is like, how do you add custom nodes? Well, you go over here to the settings. I mean, community nodes, and you find the section on community nodes. It's going to take a while to load, but after it's finished, you'll see every node that you added before this. And you have the option to install here. It's this big orange button. So you just click on it. And then it's going to give you the option of browsing the community nodes, the public registry that's hosted on npm. By the way, npm is the node package manager. It allows you to install packages that other people create and launch online on the Node network. So basically, Node is a server management kind of application for building websites with JavaScript. And since n8n is already also built on JavaScript and you're probably running JavaScript code, it makes total sense why they would host their community nodes in npm. Let's go browse these nodes actually. And what you'll see here is like a ton of nodes. It's already it's kind of like searching for the community nodes, but like you can see like a ton of nodes here. Look at this. You can integrate with 11 Labs, which is really really powerful. Like complete implementation of 11 Labs AI voice generation into end-to-end workflows. This is very useful. Again, this is also useful. User-friendly DeepSeek AI node similar to OpenAI, designed to enhance your workflow. Like really, really useful. You get a text manipulation. Let's actually get this one because I really like this one. So hypothetically, you wanted this. You can search for different nodes, whatever application you're working on, and then like when you find one that actually works, um, just like look maybe deeper into the information, like trying to see how it actually works. So this one, it seems to do text manipulation from text or files or JSON, and I mean all types apparently. It does XML and HTML as well, which is really really cool. So yeah, it even has like information on like how you can install this. But I'm just gonna show you how to install it right now. So you take this name, right, and it nodes text manipulation. You come back to the community nodes, and then you put the package name in here. So this, what it does in the backend is it automatically downloads the package from npm, and then it installs it in your system. Of course, before you have to understand that there are risks with installing unverified code, right? As you might expect, because things end up breaking more than they don't break. These nodes, they get their own updates and everything, so you have to keep track of that, like all by yourself. But yeah, you can just click on the install button, and it's gonna take a while to download the package and then link everything. But after a while, it should be able to install, which is like really cool. There we go, package installed. Everything goes really, really well. Let's look at something that you might be interested in seeing, maybe sort of a custom integration. If you're doing custom integrations, you're probably doing them through HTTP requests. So HTTP requests, if there were three nodes, really powerful nodes in n8n, it would be the code node because you can replace almost every other node in n8n just with that node. It could be the HTTP request, just based on the types of integrations and connections you can use, especially with the fact that n8n doesn't really have that many integrations to begin with. Right? HTTP request is one of the most used integrations. And then it's the third one is probably the one of the logical nodes, like a switch or an if, or like something that modifies the flow of the workflow, whatever's happening. So yeah, if you understand HTTP requests, or I guess the REST sort of system for sending requests online, you could be able to like set this up very very quickly. You just need the URL and the endpoint of like whatever you're trying to, whatever service you're trying to get access to. You need the right method, so it could be a post method or a get method or a delete method, option, patch. There's tons of it, but this is the part you have to pay attention to when it comes to custom integrations. If you're accessing services, more often than not, you have to put in some kind of API here. So like it could either be like a token, a bearer token, authorization token, something like that. So they are predefined credential types, and these are the credential types that have already been implemented. So like they already have auth methods that are built into n8n. And then there's generic credential types that you can set up all by yourself. So there are different types of generic auth types here. If you check out the predefined credential types, what you'll see is like everything that has already been installed. So there's a table API, and if I click on this, it'll autofill with the Oh no. Okay, what I did for Airtable is totally different, so that's why you might not see. But let me show you something really cool. So I already set up the YouTube OAuth 2, and that's why if I click on it, it's almost like I'm doing a request using the YouTube node itself. Let me just show you how that would look. And it autofills with the YouTube OAuth 2 API, which is really, really, yeah, very, very cool. So there's also the generic credential type where you have to basically say which kind of auth you're doing or you want to do. So I think we'll cover all of these in the future. Um, there's something called basic auth, which is just, I think it's just a token. There's header auth, which can look different based on however you want to. Most times it's just authorization and bearer with the token, whatever. There is OAuth 2, which has client ID and client secrets. There's query auth, which is kind of the same. Like all of these are different auth types for sending requests online. So yeah, that is how you do custom integrations, and we'll do like a ton of these in the future, so you don't even have to worry about it. So now let's wrap up. So integrations in n8n are considered nodes, as I said before, right? Any integration you do in n8n, you will probably be doing it in a node. There are three types of nodes. Built-in nodes are pre-installed nodes that come built in, or they get updated with n8n. Community nodes are nodes that are built by the n8n community and then made available for everyone else who wants to use them. They're hosted on npm, and you can download them either through the GUI, so the user interface, or just by code, like in the terminal of whatever system you're working on. It's credential only nodes or custom operations, and again, these are probably going to be done in HTTP requests. And they nodes with integrations with other services that need credentials to run, basically. So I'm sure you're ready to dive deeper. I know I am. So next time we're going to be looking at built-in nodes in n8n, right? How they work, when to use them, why you should be using them, and I'll see you there, fellow alchemist.